Oh, oh, excuse me. Sorry. Good morning, fellow fantasy football freaks, and welcome to the Fantasy Football Thursday BnB. As you can see, I ain't rolling out of bed for this one. Too early in the morning. It's 6 a.m. where I'm at. I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's morning here. I got my breakfast going, so come on in. Snuggle in with the Fantasy TyRant, and we're going to go over the benches and bumps for the Thursday night game. So before you get up and go to work, come on in with the TyRant and have a little breakfast here. And we'll get started in just a sec. Real quick, I want to thank you all for helping us get to 300 subscribers. We're over 300 now. That means I'm giving you the Fantasy Freak Appreciation Week at the end of the month. Check out that video I got up there floating above my head. It'll tell you all about it if you don't know. I know my hair's all messed up. I've had a shower. But we're going to go over the Thursday night game in benches and bumps. But before that, hit the like button. Help me out. I need 10% likes. Also, if you haven't subscribed, do so, because we need to hit 400 subscribers by October 26th. You do that, and I'll be dressed up in character every day for every episode that week leading up to Halloween. Hey, we're going to have a little fun with it. I'll look ridiculous for your entertainment as a thank you to you for your support. Anyway, let's move on with the Thursday BnB. I'm going to have a little bacon here. Gotta love bacon. So, here we go. No further ado. For the Thursday night game, here it is. It's benches and bumps, benches and bumps, benches and bumps. Now, of course, this is a little bit different than our normal benches and bumps format. I'm going to be doing one set of benches and one set of bumps, covering both teams, covering the whole game. So let's start off with my bumps for this game, and my biggest bump of the game is going to Joe Burrow. See, instead of that little graphic that has all the names on it, I'm just gonna have little icons and faces and shit just popping up on the screen for you. Alright, so Joe Burrow has not been as effective this season as he was last season. But this week, he could have that get-right game as he goes up against the Pussycats of Duval. Now, he's faced some stingy defenses so far, but I wouldn't consider these Pussycats a stingy defense by any means. The Jags have given up the 13th most fantasy points to opposing QBs, and the only reason it's that high is because Kyler Murray had a shit-the-bed session against them last week. In previous weeks, the Jags D gave it up to Teddy Bridgewater and even Tyrod Taylor. I'm sorry, but they're QB whores. And Burrow's got what it takes to get the job done with a couple of studs named Chase and Boyd. And with those two studs by his side, you know he's going to be doing it too. Those prostituting pussycats. So unless you got one of those unsittable studs at QB, and especially if you're streaming at the position, this is the game to give Burrow a little action and bump him up to your starting lineup. And speaking of Boyd, let's give him a bump up while we're at it. While Higgins is out, Boyd's going to continue to see the lion's share of those missing targets. When he isn't throwing long bombs down to Jamar Chase, Burrow's going to be looking for Boyd in the slot. And since he doesn't utilize a tight end, that's kind of like his security blanket. Like at LSU when Jamar Chase didn't get quite open enough for the long bomb. At that time, they had Justin Jefferson playing the slot, taking on the security blanket role. And Boyd is now the new Justin Jefferson for his offense. And while Burrow may not need that, he does use it. So for this game, give Boyd a bump up to your flex spot at least. Alright, now let's talk about J-Rob. I'm actually going to give him a bump this week. Listen, I know he was terrible those first two games, but Urban Meyer finally got his head out of his ass and realized where his bread gets buttered. And that, in this offense, isn't Trevor Lawrence, it's James Robinson. He figured this out, and he force-fed him last week to get that offense kick-started. And I think he's going to go back to that well early and often in this game. Like I said, they force-fed him in the last game, and guess what? It actually worked. Well, kinda. It didn't work out for a win for them, but it definitely worked out in making J-Rob look like the fantasy commodity we all knew he could be. And everyone's been talking up the Bengals D for this week, but they let Najee Harris turn them to shreds last week. They can be had by pass-catching backs, and J-Rob definitely fits the bill. We can see another good game from him. Maybe not as good as Sunday, but he'll get his. So give him a bump to your starting lineup. Now my sleeper for this game might be considered a little bit of a stretch, but hear me out, alright? I'm going with the Jags' newest asset, Dan Arnold. They just picked him up in a trade this week, but he's going to be their lead tight end for the season. Now, I know he hasn't exactly learned the offense yet, but that doesn't matter when you're just going to be a threat in the end zone anyway. Just go in the end zone, reach up high, catch ball, touchdown. That's how it works. Like I said, I know it's a stretch, and that's why it's a sleeper here. In no way should you actually be starting him in anything other than like 2 tight end leagues. But it could be a surprise because the Bengals won't see it coming. And that's exactly why it could happen. Just watch. He'll catch like 2 passes for 5 yards apiece, 2 touchdowns. And that's a 15-point fantasy day right there. You'll have some kind of bullshit like that, and no one will see it coming except you heard it here first. So you can take the gamble on that, or you can have another 3.5-point game from Jared Cook if you prefer. And then you'd sure look like a doofus. Alright, let's move on to the guys I'm benching. And my number 1 bench of the week is Trevor Lawrence. Now he's going to be great someday. I know he hasn't played well this season, but name which rookie QB that has. I'll wait. Yeah, none of them. I mean, he's still learning, that offense is ineffectual, and the Bengals D might actually be good. They rank 5th in sacks this season, putting up 3 1/3 a game. The Bengals D will be bopping that Taylor Hanson lookalike to the ground all game long. And Lawrence will once again have a useless day from the fantasy perspective. His only decent game was against the Texans in the opener. Oh gee, what a big surprise. You mean he could take on the Texans? Wow, big whoop. But against real NFL defenses like the Bengals, he doesn't fare so well. So leave Trevor Lawrence on your bench. And everyone but me thought that Laviska Shenault was going to take the number 1 spot over DJ Chark in the Jags wide receiver corps. Yeah, not happening, is it? I was telling you all not to go head over heels and think that Laviska Shenault is going to be this superstar with Trevor Lawrence at the helm. Come on, guys. Really? You really thought that? I was telling you, don't sleep on DJ Chark. Don't get me wrong, I do like Laviska Shenault, and I think he has plenty of potential. But he's currently the number 3 option behind DJ Chark and Marvin Jones. And that's not going to do him any favors in an offense that looks more lethargic than a fat sloth on horse tranquilizers. Now, I can't trust him this week or in the near future until that offense gets a shot in the arm or something. But for now, until we see that, leave Laviska on your bench. Now, I don't have another bench for this game, but I do have the Bengals defense on bust alert because everyone was going after them this week. They were the big defensive end like them and the Titans. And everyone's expecting, oh, they're looking good. It's Thursday night. It's against the Jags, right? It all sets up perfectly. And that's exactly why it's not going to happen. Because this shit happens every year. We all fall for it. Then that shit-ass team starts making some weird defensive plays and starts putting together touchdowns that they weren't putting up earlier this season. I mean, on paper, it seems like guaranteed fantasy points, but watch the Bungles bungle it up again. I've just seen this movie way too many times to not see it coming. Now, I'm not saying you're going to sit them, but that's what a bust alert is. You're not going to sit them, but don't go shit in your drawers if they don't put up gaudy numbers either. So that's it, fantasy football freaks. Now I'm going to finish my breakfast and probably just fall asleep right here, just like all of you, all full of bacon and fantasy football knowledge that's going to help you win this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. The new goal is 400 by October 26th. Then you can watch me dress up all week in character and pretty much dance for your cookie. And don't forget to register on Patreon before October 26th, and you'll be entered into that raffle. As many days out from that date as you sign up, that's as many entries as you're going to get into the raffle. But you got to sign up on Patreon, at least the $5 a month tier. And with that, you get unlimited one-on-one advice each week, plus exclusive videos, exclusive articles, everything that my super freaks get. If you missed the big announcements this week, click the video above my head and get caught up. Plus, you'll see my preview for F, Marry, Kill coming next Wildcard Wednesday. Thanks again for your viewership and support. I'll see you again tomorrow for the Big Friday show, Benches and Bumps. Until then, I'm out. Peace.